Hey guys, Saleh. In this video, I'm gonna share with you the code that I wrote for a crypto coin and time frame scanner in Python. Now, when will you need this? Well, a good example of it is the previous video that I did. It was about this mean diversion strategy in Python, which was producing pretty good results, but only if you were trading it on 3 different assets. But why just those 3? Why not other assets? Did I look for them? No. And was even the time frame that we were trading it on the best option? Well, to answer this question, I wrote this script to be able to go through a lot of coins and time frames very quickly. So if that sounds interesting and useful to you, let's get right into it. Now, before I continue, I gotta say I am not a financial advisor. This video is merely a tutorial, and you should always do your own research before trading, and don't take this video or any of my previous work as a plug and play money printing machine. Such a thing doesn't exist, and trading always carries risk, and you should only trade if you accept full responsibility for it. So here's the result for the strategy that I showed you in the previous video. It was called mean diversion RSI, and by the end of it, we were trading it simultaneously on ETH, BTC, and Doge on the hourly time frame. This was the PNL, this was the max drawdown, minus 22%, which is really good. The win rate was 92%, and the Sharp was almost 2. So I'm pretty proud of this, but the real question was, why not other coins, right? And was even hourly the best choice for all different coins? So to answer this question, I went ahead and wrote 2 scripts. The first one is for importing data for so many coins simultaneously. So this is it. It's called batch importer. Feel free to name it whatever. And by the way, I will share the source code for both of these scripts, and the link will be in the description. So the first one is responsible for importing data, and inside it there's this config section, which is almost the only thing that you guys should care about. First, give it the name of the exchange. So this is an enum to make sure you are giving the right name. So for example, if I want to give the name of Binance, we have these options: Binance Spot, Binance US Spot, and Binance Perpetual Futures, and it's testnet. So this is the one that I want. But if you want something else such as Gate, you can also do this, and you won't have to worry about the exact spelling of the name of it. And next we have the list of the symbols. And as you can see, I've given it so many here. All right, so just add as many as you like. And next you should give it the start date. Now, a note on this, it doesn't exactly matter. So just give it a very early date. For example, I've given it 2018, and many of these coins didn't even exist back then. But Jesse is smart enough to know that sometimes it needs to import from after the date you're giving it, if there is no data before that date. So just give it an early date, such as 2018, and it should be good to go. The other good thing about the script is that it will import them one after another, so it's careful about the API rate limits of the exchange. And even if there is any network issues, for example, it will keep retrying, and it will also skip the existing candles, so you don't have to worry that, for example, one of the coins already exists on your database. And lastly, when it is done with every coin, it will sleep for 24 hours and then try to import the data for that single day. So what I mean is, you can just run this script on your machine and let it run for weeks or months and never have to worry about importing candles again. So if you are a bit lazy with, updating your database, this is a pretty good option. All right, so assuming that we have the data, now let's move on to the actual script that is responsible for running the backtest. So again, we have a config section, all right? And this is the only thing that you guys should care about, not every function that is in here. And firstly, we will give it the name of the strategy. So in the previous video, it was called mean diversion RSI. Next, we have the name of the exchange again. And then we have a list of symbols, again, just like the batch importer. So put as many symbols as you like. And then we have the list of the time frame. So I have given it 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, and 2 hours. And next we have the start date and end date of the backtest. And then we have the data routes. So because this is a backtest, we don't just have trading routes, we also have data routes. So in the example of the mean diversion RSI strategy, we had BTC USDT and time frame of 4 hours as our data route. So it's also important to put this here. Now, a little note here. What if we're not trading BTC anymore? Because we're giving it a list of symbols, right? So what if it is trading ETH now? Well, when you define something like this as a data route in Jesse, something you guys may not know is that behind the scenes, it actually imports the data for that time frame for all the trading symbols. So what I mean is that if I put this here, even if my trading symbol is ETH, because I have this BTC USDT in the 4 hours time frame, Jesse will also import the data for ETH USDT on the 4 hours time frame. So this will work no matter what. But sometimes the bigger time frame that you need isn't for the exact symbol that you're trading. So you gotta be careful with that. So what if, for example, I'm trading a meme coin, but I also want the data of Sol USDT in my strategy? That's a pretty good use case. So in those cases, you need to make sure this exists here. Now I'm gonna comment this out again. All right, so this is good. Next, we have the config, which will get the starting balance, the trading fees, which by the way, I have set it a little bit higher than what it is on the actual exchange. I do this because I want to account for the slippage or any kind of fees that we are not taking into account. Because in general, I like my backtest to be very strict so that if my strategy is able to produce profits in my backtest, when it reaches the live trading and it pays even less trading fees, it has a better chance. So you hear all the time that live trading isn't as good as backtesting. So because of that, I try to make my backtest as hard as possible. And next we have the type, which is futures. Futures leverage is 10. Then futures leverage mode is cross. And then the exchange, you don't have to change this because we already defined it above here. And then we have the warm-up candles, which is by default 210 in Jesse. And that's it. We don't really care about anything else. So let's go ahead and run this. Now, by the way, when you run this for the first time, there's a good chance that there's going to be some dependencies that aren't installed on your machine. But most of them are exactly what we use in Jesse. And of course, the most important part, which is the backtesting itself, is using Jesse's research module. So you need to ensure you have Jesse installed and some other libraries that may not be coming with Jesse. I think Seaborn is one of them, and maybe also matplotlib. So if you ran it and got an error like this, just make sure to run a command such as pip install and then the name of that library. Do this 1 or 2 times and you should be good to go. And the other thing that you need to be very careful is where to put these files. You need to put them inside your Jesse project. So here, the bot is the name of my Jesse project, and here's my strategies folder, the storage, and then we have the root of my Jesse project, and this is where I need to put this. All right, so let's run this. Now, first of all, it is saying base here. So the conda environment that I have for Jesse isn't activated yet. So let's do that. Conda activate Jesse 3.12. And then I will simply say Python batch backtest. And notice that it is using parallel processing to finish these backtests as fast as possible. Now, while that's going, I want to quickly remind you guys about our Telegram. It's the fastest way to get notified about my future work, whether it's a new tutorial or a tool that I create. Also, don't forget to check out our free Discord, where more than 5,000 members like you and I are hanging out there and helping out each other with algo-trading so we can all succeed together. The links for both are down in the description. There we go. So first, let's take a look at this. So I'm gonna zoom out so we can see this table a little better. All right, so I hope this isn't too small for you guys to see, but basically we have a table here that shows us the result of the backtest. And by default, it's been sorted by Sharpe ratio. So for example, we can very quickly see that BTC USDT on the hourly time frame produces the best Sharpe ratio, which is 1.56. And next we have ETH USDT on the 30-minute time frame, so that's interesting. And then we have ETH USDT on hourly. Then we have BTC on 30 minutes, producing the best Sharpe. And then we have BNB on the hourly, and so on. And we also have tables. So let's take a look at this. First is displaying them by the returns, and then by win rate. So we have BTC on the hourly, producing 94% win rate, which is amazing. On ETH, hourly still has the best win rate. But when it comes to something such as Sharpe, which is what we care more, BTC USDT on the hourly produces the best results. For ETH, however, we can see very quickly that on the 30 minutes, it has the best results, which is 1.25. And then we have another table for the max drawdown. So let's close this. Next, we have another table which shows us the net profit on different time frames. So for example, on ETH, I can very quickly see which one is giving me more. On BTC, I'm seeing that the hourly, which is this orange one, is producing better numbers. On BNB, only the hourly is profitable and the other two are actually negative. And on Sol, I can see that almost all of them are bad. And we have another table for Sharpe ratio. And then we have another one which shows us very quickly the max drawdown and the win rate, and also the number of trades. So the bigger the circle here is, the more trades it is taking. So for example, this one looks amazing. This one, which is for ETH USDT on 30 minutes, is also pretty good, and so is this one. So I guess this last table is the most useful one to me, of course, after the table of Sharpe ratios. But you might be thinking, okay, so you basically just gave us the same results. Well, go around this yourself on as many coins as you can, because I did, and after finding the best combinations, my results went from this, which was producing 848% in 2.5 years with a max drawdown of -22. It went up from this into this. So now, on the same time period, it is producing 21,763% with a max drawdown of -32%. So if I compare the Sharpe ratio, for example, so you can see it went from 2 up to 2.7. And even the average holding time went down from 70 to 43 hours, which is better. So this number is simply crazy. And to trade it, instead of 3 assets, I'm trading 8 different coins with different timeframes. And I found them all using this script. Now, I'm not going to show you the exact name of those. It's going to be your homework. So I gave you the script, go run it yourself and find the best combinations. Now, in case you want the source code for the strategy I just showed you, first of all, go watch the video. It's right before this one on my YouTube channel. And also, if you want the source code of it, you can find it on our strategies page, which is jesse.trade/strategies. And here's the result of that one. You can check it out, the results for different time frames and symbols to see which ones perform better. And there's also some metrics here. Now, this is a new type of video that I just did. I shared with you a script that I wrote. It's not an official feature of Jesse yet, but it very much could be. So if you want to see this feature, this coin screener inside Jesse's dashboard, so you won't have to run a different script to get the results, well, let me know and I will build it into Jesse. So if that sounds good, let me know in the comment section. Now, if you want to support me and my work to make more videos like this, please make sure to give the video a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.